Welcome back to another episode of Askewed Reviews Food Reviews. And today, the food that I'm reviewing is Wendy's Meal of Misfortune. If you weren't aware, this is a team up between Wendy's and Netflix's television series Wednesday. And they did this team up due to the fact that Wednesday Season 2 is just starting up. So, Wendy's Meal of Misfortune consists of a few different things: an order of nuggets, along with some mystery sauces, some fries, and a Frosty. Along with all of these food items, though, you do get an intricate bag and an interesting looking spoon. The bag is just a paper bag, but if you're a big fan of Wednesday or the Addams Family in general, you might want to get this for your collection. So, first, let's talk about the chicken nuggets, or as they specifically call it for this order, the rest in 10-piece chicken nuggets. Other than the container, these are no different from Wendy's regular nuggets, which can come in either original or spicy. So, since there's nothing different about these, I'm going to rate them the same way I would just if I was eating Wendy's nuggets regularly, which would be a 4 out of 5. Next up, we have the mystery dipping sauces known as the Dips of Dread. These came in 4 flavors: Nowhere to Woe, Grave Mistake, You Can't Hide, and This Will Sting. I'm going to be honest though, I was not a big fan of any of these sauces. If you just want different levels of heat and spiciness, they're good for that, but they didn't really enhance the flavors of the nuggets at all. In fact, I thought they tasted better with the fries. I will say this though, I did like the concept of the mystery sauces, even though it did take me a couple of times to be able to try all 4 of them. But since I didn't like any of the flavors, I am going to give the sauces a 2 out of 5. Next up, we have the Cursed and Crispy Fries. I don't actually know if they made these crispier or anything, but they really just tasted like regular Wendy's fries, which, I'll be honest, ever since they changed how they made fries years and years ago, I've never liked Wendy's fries all that much. So I'm just going to grade them as I normally would Wendy's fries to begin with, which would be a 2 out of 5. The final item is the dessert, which is the Wendy's Frosty, specifically called the Raven's Blood Frosty. The biggest change with this Frosty is that the syrup that they use is dark cherry. And just like most of their new Frosty flavors, you can do this one in chocolate or vanilla. In my personal opinion, I think it tasted better when it was in the vanilla. To eat your Frosty, you also got this nifty little item called the Spoon of Gloom. I wouldn't say this one's super cheap plastic because I did try to bend it just to see, and it didn't break immediately, but I'm also not certain if this thing would last in a dishwasher cycle. So when it comes to the Raven's Blood Frosty, it has a cool look. It does come with a cool and interesting little spoon, but I am not a big fan of cherry in general, and I honestly think the syrup did not taste very good. So even though I would normally give a regular Frosty a 5 out of 5, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. So here is how I reviewed each of the separate food items. As a meal in its entirety, I was very close to doing a 2 out of 5, but it's not necessarily that everything in here was bad. I just felt like this was kind of boring and wasn't really a cool crossover event between Wendy's and Wednesday. So I am going to give it a 3 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews Food Reviews. And if there's any other foods out there, whether it's fast food restaurants or in a grocery store, that you think I should eat and do a review for, please mention it in the comments.